It's 4:30 on WKYT this morning. It started as a routine gas fill-up for his car, but a Lexington man says it ended up causing lots of damage, and he blames contaminated gas.
The Cats braved a winter storm in the south in search of their 28th straight win.
And we're looking at that winter weather advisory outside, even looking at some snow flying around. But here's the deal. We look for that light at the end of the tunnel as we head toward late weekend off into next week. I'll show you a good forecast, part of it, coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome in. It's your Thursday, or as you like to say, day before Friday. Right? Yeah. We're glad you're with us on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. This morning we were tracking snow actually moving through parts of southern and eastern Kentucky.
And gusty winds are going to make freezing temperatures feel much colder than that today. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
And we're looking outside and seeing that snow fly around now. Here's the deal. Over toward the east-southeast, I think that's your best opportunity, that is where we actually have those winter weather advisories in effect till early this morning. I would say by rush hour, it should start to scoot on out or just kind of fall apart. But there's the look down south and southeast. It's not much, but it is enough to cause some issues as you get out and about traveling there on the roads. We're in the upper 20s, lower 30s, and we'll finish off pretty much where you just saw those temperatures. They'll slowly drop here in the next couple of hours and then pick back up by the afternoon, right around 27. I'll go over the latest forecast with some good news in it coming up.
Okay, well, hold on for the good news, and we thank you. Folks in southern Kentucky are getting hit again this morning by Old Man Winter, as Micah was saying. Pulaski County's judge executive tells us they just can't afford it anymore.
Steve Kelly oversees the county's road department. He's hoping that the county will get their money back from the government. A state of emergency has been declared statewide. He says that getting the money could take several months.
Basically, we take all of our budget that we planned on for the winter months, and also we use it on 1 week instead of stretching it out over the course of the winter months.
The county's also short on salt, but Kelly says the county will be able to handle another round of snow.
Across the deep south, millions of people are dealing with a winter storm. Heavy snow fell through the day yesterday from Louisiana over to the Carolinas. As much as 6 inches of snow or even higher totals could fall in some places. The governors of both Tennessee and Alabama have declared states of emergency. More than 1,300 flights were canceled because of the snow, many of them in Atlanta. A terrifying situation in New Hampshire. A man was buried alive under the snow for more than 3 hours. 48-year-old Drew Mullins was using a snow rake to clear snow off of the metal roof of his home when the snow rushed off of the roof. His family returned 3 hours later and they called for help. It took 9 firefighters about 20 minutes to free him, but he is expected to recover.
Well, 14 Kentucky counties are still dealing with water shortages caused by the recent bitterly cold weather. Breathitt County is among them. County leaders there say hundreds of customers of Jackson Water Works lost water service last night. They hope to have service restored over the next few days. Jackson firefighters have been giving out bottled water at fire stations to those who need it. They're also delivering cases of water to folks who cannot leave their homes. Well, over in Estill County, 2,000 people are still without water service. County leaders set up an emergency water distribution center and they gave out 1,500 gallons of water. They hope everyone will have service again by the end of the week. In neighboring Powell County, emergency management says 2 truckloads of fresh drinking water should arrive there today to help with a water shortage.
Well, a lot of our viewers, just like you, have been sending in photos and videos of the snow that came down overnight. One of our Twitter followers sent us this photo of the snowy commute in Corbin last night. This was taken right before midnight when the snow was coming down there. Looks like folks in Harlan County will have to scrape their cars off yet again. Check out this video that Timothy Hudson also sent us. The snowflakes coming down there in neighboring Letcher County around midnight this morning. You can send us your photos or video. Use the hashtag WKYT Rules Winter. And keep checking the bottom of your screen for updated closings and delays. You'll also find the complete list on WKYT.com.
New this morning, Lexington police are searching for an armed robbery suspect. Around 3 o'clock this morning, police were called out to the Speedway gas station on Winchester Road. They say a man entered the store with a gun and demanded money. Police say he was last seen on Detroit Avenue. The suspect is about 5 feet 10 inches tall, wearing dark baggy jeans, was wearing a white ski mask at the time. Well, this morning, police say road rage fueled a deadly shooting that killed a Lexington man. 43-year-old Chris McCullum was arrested yesterday and is facing a murder charge. The Jefferson County Coroner's Office says 27-year-old Rodney Fry of Lexington was one of 2 men shot to death inside a car. It happened in Louisville's Shawnee neighborhood. Police say they cannot find any connection between the shooter and the victim.
This morning, still no word yet on what caused a fire that killed 6 horses at a Woodford County farm. The fire ripped through 2 barns yesterday at Chanticleer Farm. Firefighters say they had to bring in water from a half-mile away because there was not a hydrant nearby. The farm has been home to horses that have competed in the Breeders' Cup.
From top to bottom, they never had a huge number of brood mares. I believe they usually would keep their numbers to under 20, but I believe they probably averaged, about 20% stakes winners from that number of mares, which is a pretty extraordinary thing throughout this industry.
Farm managers are not saying much about the fire or if the horses killed were thoroughbreds.
A Laurel County teenager has returned home 9 months after being critically injured in an ATV accident. Casey Collett was riding his ATV last spring when his family says he was clotheslined. Since then, he's had many surgeries at hospitals out of state. Casey returned home last week. His mother says he still has more treatments ahead and will have to go to a hospital in Pittsburgh for another surgery in the near future.
A Central Kentucky man is facing some expensive car repairs, and he blames the gas that he bought at a Meyer gas station in Lexington.
He claims that gas was contaminated and damaged his car. Now Meyer is looking into claims from multiple customers. Jordan Valines has more.
Pay for the gas, pump the gas, drive away. It's something we've all done a million times before.
Stopped at Myers and topped our vehicle off with gas. Had no issues, drove it home, parked it.
Something Jason Wade didn't think twice about last Saturday.
Everything was running fine on the car.
That is until 2 days later.
We go out and start it, and it's just blowing smoke everywhere. It was crazy.
That's when Wade brought his SUV into the shop to be checked out.
They just decided to drop the gas tank out of the back of the car, and they're inspecting it, and it's full of diesel fuel.
The problem? His SUV runs on regular gasoline, but he says diesel fuel is what actually came out of the regular gasoline nozzle when he filled it up at the Meyer in Hamburg.
This is a sample that the Paul Miller service advisor gave me to bring with me, and it's diesel fuel. It's what they took out of my fuel tank.
Having to get his SUV repaired wasn't only irksome.
Here's one of the spark plugs out of 6, and they're clearly covered in the oil that's in diesel fuel, and they're ruined. They had to replace them all.
It also cost him a pretty penny.
I know of several people that are having the same problems as we are, and this is a $1,400 bill we got to repair our car.
The risk management representative at Meyer has verbally agreed to reimburse them, but they're still waiting on that check to come in, while they're also trying to get the word out to others whose cars may have also been affected by the mishap. In Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And Meyer released a statement about the issue, saying that they have received complaints from other customers who bought fuel at the Meyer in Hamburg on Saturday. They say their investigation has not found any contaminated fuel, but they are still conducting some tests.
Well, you may have seen his debut last night. A Kentucky man survived his first test on The Amazing Race. The new season of the CBS show premiered last night. Kurt Jordan Belcher of Pendleton County is one of the competitors this year. He and his teammate finished in 6th place out of 11 teams. The next episode of Amazing Race airs Friday night at 8 o'clock on WKYT.
All right, good to have you along. Our time is 4:39 on WKYT.
The streak continues. I didn't know because I couldn't watch the game last night because I was sleeping. But this morning, yay, finding out this information, the Kentucky Wildcats still undefeated. They took down the Bulldogs during a wintry mess with a 74-56 victory.
Snow fell throughout the day in Starkville, Mississippi, but it did not slow down the Cats. This video shot by John Clay of the Lexington Herald-Leader shows UK fans walking through the snow to get inside. It's the team's 28th straight win and the most in program history. They're back in action this Saturday against Arkansas at 4 o'clock. That will be right here on WKYT. And after the game,